let's do the walkthrough, and then while we're doing the walkthrough, I'm sure I have a bag of questions to go through. But Tara, why don't you pull us up the walkthrough on our? Everyone else, what we go through? You come to the website. First thing we see, top 10, right? Yep. And that's just like the top 10 overall players of the current ranking system. Does this ever get like refreshed or restarted?
Yeah, yeah. So it gets refreshed twice a day, or is it 4 times a day? I think.
Right.
It's refreshed. Yeah.
I mean, like, sorry, I should be one. Like, did the ratings ever kind of like restart ever?
Restart? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Like, he means, do you ever just start over from zero? But I don't think so.
I didn't think so either. I was curious though.
Yeah.
It's okay. So rankings current, and that's just, I guess, more of a breakdown of.
That's the same list as you saw before, except it goes
further.
Yeah.
And then history. So this is more like what are we looking here? This
is this snapshot.
Yeah. So there's a every 2 weeks I freeze the list and I create a new one. So there's you can view the list as it was at a previous point in history every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And I've tried to sort of quantify matchups, like which race was doing well, which race was doing poorly. I don't know if that has any semblance in reality at all.
So this I may be able to, I'm not interpreting because of my limited knowledge, but you have the leading, which is 6%. Is that to say that Terran is the more dominant matchup in this particular snapshot?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how I computed these numbers, but yeah, it's meant to suggest that the Terrans are currently doing better than
6% of the time,
and the Protoss are doing worse.
In this particular
right now,
each week in this particular week.
Yeah.
Or I guess is it every 2 weeks? It looks like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
And it looks like 70% of the time that's Terran.
From a quick.
In the 8 years, that's Terran.
Yeah, it looks like Terran. The quick scan looks like Terran generally is doing better, and a little bit of Protoss. Actually, I can't even tell for the who's lagging most of the time. But and then you have active, new, and games. Is that like, obviously games is the amount of games?
Yeah, so active is the number of players who played a game in that period.
Oh, okay.
New is the number of new players in that period.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And then earnings is going to probably be pretty straightforward. Is who's making monies.
Yeah.
Were you pulling that? Was that pulled from, like, are you guys generating that from your tournament database, or are you scraping that from somewhere else?
We take earnings data from news reports or press releases or stuff like this. It's probably not something you would, I don't know, put too much trust in these numbers. I don't know. I don't know how like if these numbers are very public and reliable.
Well, like there's for money, there's always going to be like the discrepancies. They never track sponsorships, right. So it's always just price pool.
Sponsorships are of course not sure.
Yeah. Okay, bouncing over to teams. This is actually, these are more teams than I thought there would have been, to be brutally honest, in these StarCraft.
Yeah,
but I guess some of these are old teams too. So
and actually one of the kinds of emails I get the most is notifications from players who have swapped teams and they want to tell me about it. I guess I'm just seeing the tip of the iceberg there, so I'm not sure how many of these are really reliable anymore, but.
This page I've never entirely understood. So what's the all kill score and pro league score? All kill score, I assume, is how good the best player is.
Yeah, so these are based on simulations. So you take two teams and you pit them against each other in a team matchup. And at least when I was watching StarCraft, there were two kinds of those. The regular old Pro League, where you needed 5, I believe, players, or was it 4?
4 plus ace. Yeah, ace.
Yeah.
3 and an ace.
So that's why some teams aren't listed there, because they have too few players, right? Whereas a team with 1 player could potentially all kill another team. So
Okay, cool.
And then the top 5 rating is just what?
That's the average.
Okay.
Average rating of the top 5 players.
Okay. And if the team does not have 5 players, they will not get set score.
Yeah.
It's like you have Ting here, which has a like 86% all kill score, because obviously Neeb could probably kill some teams' entire team rosters, but he can't be. It's not rated as no Pro League score. So. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's just Neeb. Okay.
It's just Neeb. It's just Neeb. He himself is a team.
Yeah.
And then and they're ranked on their all kill score, right? So how likely is it a team's strongest player to destroy an entire team by himself? Huh. Okay. I'm surprised you used that and not like the top 5 rating. Obviously, because I guess more often than not than.
The thing is, team matchups are more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving along, skirting over the transfers, because transfers is transfers. Pretty straightforward on that. Again, how accurate that data is, you'd obviously have to tell us. Records. Here's some things I definitely have some questions about. So records, clicking on history.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, you're looking at the historical rating of the current top 5.
Okay. Historical rating in terms of, I guess, whatever we want to put in terms of data, but like.
Yeah, so if you want to show the top 10 Terrans.
Okay. Yeah.
The current top 10 Terrans, you could do that.
Okay. And are they? And you're going to be watching showing their ranking over time. What are these along the x-axis? Is that like the patches? That's the number.
Patches.
Yeah. This goes all the way back to 1.12. Like, have you been tracking the data that long, or did you pull that from old data?
I pull that from old data. So if it's anything from before end of 2012, I got it from somewhere else.
Okay, Hall of Fame. So this is interesting. So you have a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What was when you designed this Hall of Fame? What was your vision for this?
It's
innovation here.
So the eternal discussion next to what's the best race, which is Zerg, by the way, is that
like actually statistic, or is that you just saying?
No, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
So the eternal debate, I guess, is something like who's the all-time best StarCraft player ever. Every sport has this debate.
Yeah.
And it's a hard question to answer because things change over time. Are you talking about the one, like the player who was at their peak, the best, or the one who has over time most dominated his or her peers, or so I guess this Hall of Fame was just my sort of contribution to this debate.
So is, in your way of interpreting, are we saying that innovation is the best player of all time of StarCraft? Is that how one could interpret this?
I guess. So
followed by MVP.
I mean, there's some text here that says what the hell this is.
Yeah, I tried to read that, and I'm not sure I followed it. So the idea is, if you're in the top 7, something happens. What is like?
Yes.
Is this
Okay.
basically
Okay.
how consistently you're up there, or yeah?
Yeah. It's this was my idea. So if a player remains in the top 7 for a long time, you sum up like if he is top 7 by 10 points in one period, he scores 10 points.
Oh.
And then you sum up over the whole period, sort of like how much above the number 7th player on the list that player is at any given time.
Oh, it's kind of deceptively simple in a weird way.
Yeah, I'm not the slightest idea how useful that is, but
no, it makes sense. I think it like it's kind of like King of the Hill in a weird way, like to oversimplify it. You know, how long they stay at the top, they earn points by staying at the top, and then
and you can see that innovation has been in an absolutely obscene amount of time.
Yes, like that's why I had to point this out. But you have this star beside Maru, and I miss what?
That's because he's currently in.
Oh.
Yeah, currently in the tops. In the top 7, and then you can note that you don't have a star next to Cyril, even though he is currently in the top 7.
Yes,
but that's because his current streak he hasn't been there long enough, right? Okay. He has previously had a longer time in the top 7 that has like collected more.
Oh, that's interesting. So innovation streak, even though he's currently in the top 7, is not this streak.
Yeah, he dropped below, so now he's not collecting points anymore.
But Maru is currently collecting points.
Right, whereas this innovation streak was from January 2012 to January 2000, or to sometime in 2017.
Yeah.
And even though he's back in the top 7, he's not.
The streak hasn't been going along enough to be continuing.
Does it stop the moment they drop out of the top 7, or like how does that work?
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
All right.
But like I have to stress, these are just rules.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. It's neat.
Yeah,
it is kind of fun to kind of scroll down. I'm like, oh, where is Idra? 48th of all time.
Yeah.
Huck, 43rd. Where's Scarlet? Where is she?
I don't know. Is she?
Scarlet should be.
Oh, not even in the top 50.
She's not. She was never like consistent. Like a lot of these, to be fair, a lot of these are from. Maru is literally the only guy with an asterisk. Everyone else is pre. 2015.
So I don't know how useful this list is anymore, because it seems to be pretty static now, and I'm actually honestly quite surprised not to see Scarlet here.
Me too. Life is in there still. Rip.
Life, yeah.
Yeah, rip life. There's some Hall of Fames we should.
That's a cool one.
Who?
Just in general, I do like that. I never quite understood. I've glanced at it before, but never quite understood what it was doing. But it makes sense.
Well, that's exactly why we have the creator here to explain it, because, like I'm sure, like some people out there, you might stumble onto this part of the site and have no clue what you're looking at.
I don't blame
you. Let's click on in records. Click on Protoss, or actually all, I guess. Let's see what all takes us. Oh, I don't know why it's loading me this slow for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope the whole stream isn't.
Maybe we've got people like clicking on it and refreshing all the.
Everyone's just like, I want to see these. I want to know who's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of interesting, because I don't know if from the Hall of Fame, how I feel like I've only really been paying attention to Cyril in the last year. So, and I'm assuming, so it actually says the start date, 2016 November is when he started getting into these points. That's kind of interesting. So, do you feel that is accurate? As a side note, like, when they start, is that kind of accurate, like as accurate as can be? Or do you?
It's, I felt it was accurate when I did it, and now I haven't paid attention very much lately.
Wait, do you set those up manually? I guess really it comes to beg the question is how much of this site is hands-on and how much of this is automated?
It's entirely automated. Yeah, see, now I'm getting timeouts here.
Okay. But
yeah, we're all clicking on the big data.
Everyone wants to know the Hall of Fame. All right, Tara, just bounce us off back to cameras for a bit. I'm gonna until we can get.
Or you can move on. So I think some of the other things still work though.
Did it? I try to go to.
Let me just make sure that the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think anything.
Yeah. Okay. So while we wait for that to bounce back up, I did have a question from the chat, and I'm curious to this as well. Are there any specific results that you're specifically proud of that your system predicted against popular opinion?
I can't remember any.
No. Is there anything that comes to mind along something that has been debated in the forums that your site has proven against?
No, for the most part, the site just sort of confirms popular opinion. Has been my
the biases.
Yeah, it's been my experience, I think. But it's nice to quantify, I think, how like the relative strength of players in different matchups, which is something that back in the day, at least, everyone was debating every which way.
Yeah, I think to get back to the Korea versus non-Korea, I think the way that it's shaken out has been pretty accurate. Like, I do definitely remember people debating several times, like whenever a foreigner breaks the top 10, especially if they break the top 5, there's a debate of like, does that count? And generally speaking, each time, yes, it's been proven out to be correct. Like when Neeb was breaking into the top 5, and people were like, yeah, but he can't really beat like Koreans. That's not real. And then he goes and wins or something like that. So Cyril's yet to have that moment yet, but it was true with Scarlett. It was true. Like,
okay, well,
you know, whatever.
To tag off of that question then, because that just inspired me, is there ever been a time where your site has predicted something and it's been completely off?
Probably.
Like, is there a moment where it's like
in the beginning, due to this Korea versus non-Korea problem, it predicted a lot of good results for Koreans, for foreigners against Koreans. Yeah. Turned out to be completely bullshit. And everybody knew that, of course.
Right.
So yeah,
makes sense. Now you mentioned earlier too the like. So how does the elo decay sort of thing work? So take a player like Stefano that was dominant and then goes silent for a long time and then comes back. How does it work for a player like that?
Ortesia.
Yeah, Ortesia.
Yeah, so their rating remains, but the uncertainty grows over time, which means that when they choose to play games again, their rating will adjust a lot more rapidly than it would have if they just kept playing originally.
I'm curious to see. I plan to have your site up when TJ does his qualifiers for GSL. I am curious to see what happens.
Okay.
The reason I picked Stefano, like, because when you look at his historical thing, despite again his dominance, his elo rating on this site was never more than like 1800, and now that he's back, he's pushing 2300 again. Okay. Or 22 or whatever, but that must be that rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're into chess, which I guess you are a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. You may be familiar with rating inflation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So he's coming back into a higher period of.
Yeah. So you're seeing that ratings just get higher over time.
Yeah.
And whether that's a real effect or not that's to be seen. But
all right, so let's see if we can get back into the site. And
I don't.
Working. It's working for me now.
Me as well.
Okay, then I will not use it then.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you have it memorized, right? You have it memorized. Let's go to results by date.
Yeah.
Results by date. So this seems pretty straightforward. It seems like the most recent, results entered
Most like not most recent result entered, but like because you can enter results in the past.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but these are just results. So here's going to be interesting. Let's see inference. So inference. This sounds like good.
To me, this is the most fun one.
Yes.
So this is the one you have up during tournaments, or if you're just shit talking about who's better. Like this is the fun one.
So what you do, so using inference, I'm guessing, or I'm not guessing, it's pretty, says it's right there, is that you put in the tournament information, you put in the best of, and then you put the players, and then it's going to spit out what the likeliness of the results of the bracket.
Yeah, if you choose a bracket.
Yeah, I mostly do just one-on-one, but yeah, you can do whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a quick one-on-one. So let's do an example. Let's say best of 3. Who do you want to pick? Let's do Masa. Masa versus who's a good choice? Neeb. Yeah, that's a good. Let's do. Even though I feel like
Scarlet's maybe more fair, but
yeah. Let's show me the future. Oh, Magic Aligulac. Show me the. No. So, in that prediction, it is obviously. It looks like in Neeb's favor. It is. What did I put here? It's the best of 3. Did I? It's a 2-0, 2-1, 26%. He has a 26% chance of winning.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure I read that correctly.
So it breaks it down. So if I understand this right, so it says there's an 11% chance of Massa winning 2-0.
Oh, okay.
A 15% chance of him winning 2-1. A 43% chance of him getting fucking swept. And a 29% chance of him getting 2-1 by Neeb. And then overall, 73% chance that Neeb. And then this is the interesting part. Despite the fact that historically Neeb has won 66% of the time, it predicts in the state that they're in 73% for Neeb.
Well, I have to admit, that's close enough for me.
I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty accurate.
It sounds very accurate.
Yeah.
As a person who myself, I love numbers. I admit I've never stumbled on this. When I use your site, I admit I just go straight to clicking on the players themselves from the database, and then like kind of work it that backwards based on like I think you have rivals, and I think we're gonna get to that part later where it's like rivals and how likely
I like
person. Pardon?
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that's the data I personally have always used when I come to the site, where I'll look for I'll search out the specific player and I'll click on when we're doing a tournament specific and I'll pull the data of when that player has played that said the player. But this is actually really a lot better in terms of presenting that information. So when you did this page. What was sort of your envision for it? Oh, you have a postable to Reddit and Team Liquid. Wow, I've never run into this part.
Yeah, I've used that too, particularly the Reddit.
So yeah, what was your sort of envisioning for people using this?
Yeah, I guess I wanted to use it.
Yeah.
I was watching GSL and I wanted to use it, and this was the tool I wanted, so I made it for me in a sense, and I guess it's been popular enough that like other people's were on the same page as me. Okay,
so here one question about this item: you have form. Is that the current like status they're in, or like the fighting form? Like what is form?
It's just the sort of recent results for a player.
Yeah.
So all time you can see Marua's 1103 wins out of 1700 or so, but if you click on form, it says he has 15 out of 19. So that's just recent results.
Okay. As opposed to his full historical results.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And this is the number I usually always use. Sometimes is the score versus each other, but this is much more in depth. This page is particularly more in depth. Is this new, or am I just really missed this? Oh, we're on inference still.
Yeah. So I think this is pretty useful. Now, when you calculate, like, so when you're doing the best of 1, best of 3, best of 5, is this just assuming, making the assumption that it's the same chance that they're going to win any match, and it just extrapolates what those odds would be?
Every game in a match is considered to be independent.
So it wouldn't take in for consideration that in the past, Neeb has been better at best of 5 versus him playing in best of 3s.
Against, and it also would not take into consideration stuff like if you lose the first game, do you tilt or
that would be really kind of
like this, right?
Yeah.
Even though that'd be super hard to calculate and like control, but like
hard but interesting.
Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, I'm just curious. That would be kind of cool. I admit that would be kind of cool to be able to, like, you know, if you could somehow get the data that Masa is, you know, 25% likely to tilt when a game against me, you know, based on, you know, the amount of 2-0s he's gotten in large tournaments, or if the tournament has, I'm just going kind of crazy in terms of wish list, like, you know, Neeb is 50% likely to do better against Moss if it's in a tournament that is a large offline versus an online tournament.
Even racially, this race is better at a best of 3 than a best of 7 because they run out of belts.
Oh, because of this player, but historically players have lost in the late game versus losing in the early game.
Yeah, typically like a Protoss is not as good at best of 7 because they don't. Now it's a little different, but they didn't have 7 belts like against the race. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, you can only open Stargate so many times.
Yeah.
That's actually,
but to me, this is definitely the most fun.
This is, I didn't know this one. This is actually really good. Like I said, I always just pull the player name and then go like through the rivalries. But this is something I'll use. All right, let's bounce to balance report, because this is going to be something that some people might use as well. Balance report. I've seen these specifically on the Blizzard forum. I've seen this come up. And sometimes sometimes on Reddit, I'll see once in a while someone will reference, well, Aligulac. No. So balance report. This nothing seems like a huge variance. Is this more like to Blizzard's testament, or is this legit? You know.
Yeah. So what this shows is just win rates.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say whether this is if what you're looking at is actual balance or not.
Have you ever tried? So this is just literally pure win rate. Have you ever tried win rate versus expected win rate?
Yeah, that's what you're looking at in the graph below there.
Second one. Oh, okay.
Oh, the performance difference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're saying, so in this one, okay, that's what I was thinking. So in the second one, Terran is underperforming, performing as if their ELO is 49 points lower than it is, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I remember back when I really followed professional StarCraft towards the end of the Wings of Liberty, when Zerg, like everybody understood that Zerg was doing well.
Yeah.
And the numbers show this as well. Sustained, consistent domination by Zerg that ended exactly when Hearts of the Swarm was released. And the graph shows this, you know, in beautiful detail. I was really, really quite proud of this one, I think.
Oh, that was going to be one of my questions.
It really is, yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. What was probably one of the most proud times you've been of your site? And would you say that was the most proud, or was that just one of your most proud moments?
I'd like to say it's one of, but I can't say for sure what is the most.
Okay, so what is like maybe two, another one, or one more, or two more if you got them. Most proud moments of your site.
Yeah.
We can come back to it. It's okay.
Yeah,
just before we come to the end of this stream, hopefully maybe you'll get inspired as we go through the rest of the site. Days since. Let's balance that.
I love this one. It's just fun.
I don't think I've ever cooked on this one either. Huh. All right. Right here. So days since. A Korean. Oh, okay. Now I kind of see.
Oh yeah, this one.
Okay, it's days since a Korean Terran won against a Korean Protoss in the best of 5 offline. It's been 3 days. So this reminds me immediately of like amount of accidents happened in the plant.
Yeah.
A Nordic player won a major event. 16 days. Huh.
Well, now I assume when this category is made, the Koreans were allowed to play in them.
Foreigner won a.
Yeah. So a lot of these things probably reflect stuff that was going on
at the time.
I remember at one point that being like 600 days.
Yeah, okay.
Like because they weren't like Koreans actually went to the premier events, but they can't now. So
I like this cute one. Siu got second place in the event.
Yeah, I don't recall what's up with that.
And a North American player won a major event. So it was 49 days. Foreigner player won in GSL and Code S. Has it really been 52 days?
Yeah, sort of.
Oh, one in the GSL. Oh, so I thought.
No, GSL.
Okay. I was like, what? Did I miss something?
That would be 2,600 days.
This must be Scarlet though. Right? So I was like, okay. I thought I was like one GSL foreigner, right? But this has to be Scarlet. Scarlet was probably like.
I was sort of, but.
Oh, sort of. Oh, I missed that one.
But it was like a week after Scarlet one.
Oh, was this the qualifier? Oh, no, this is inside the actual GSL season. Okay, these are kind of healthy though.
They're fine.
The foreign Terran won against a Korean Protoss offline. That's an interesting number. Like, I wonder why you chose that one specifically.
I can't remember.
Oh, but here we go. Flash was 3-0'd. 3 years, 184 days since Flash was 3-0'd. By life in Hero. I don't think Flash plays StarCraft 2 anymore. I'm pretty sure if he plays, he probably streams remastered.
I like this one. The last time Jadon got second in an event was here.
Was it?
Base trade held it to boot time.
Jadon got second place in an event. Why second place? Is that like? Did I miss something?
No, this I do remember. He had a thing for doing second places.
Yeah. Yeah, he did it in the WCSs like 3 times in a row, and then and then BlizzCon. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Ding it, show match.
Does it count to be second place in a show match? But yeah, there's only 2 people.
He lost a puck. Is that real? Did that actually happen? It must do, I guess.
It did happen.
Huh. And then MVP won a premier tournament. Slayers disbanded. MMA and Don Rangu played a best of 5. It's been 5 years since they played. Oh, here's one. Here's an interesting one. It's been 5 years since a CIS player won a major event, and that person being like, is it Titan?
It's Titan.
Who is I don't know if anyone knows off the top of the head. I'm sure Taro chime in. Who is actually right now the best CIS player right now? Bly?
Yeah,
Bly. All right, just keep it on mind. I wonder. Oh, and he's on here too.
We're on the best possible site to figure that out.
Right. That's. I was actually about to follow the.
There is the ranking by country, right? Somewhere.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
It's a region.
No, but you could look it.
Yeah, we don't have CIS as a region in there, I think.
Yeah, but you could figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
You know it's going to be the Ukraine. There's no other country in that region that's important.
That's the only one that has players, really.
Yeah.
When was is there any more Russian players currently playing? Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. If there's any Russian players currently playing in StarCraft in the pro level, no. Though oddly enough, I did hear that the CIS region had really high numbers for their Star League StarCraft 2 tournament. I don't know if that ever comes up anymore, but I heard they had really high open numbers in terms of players that had registered. CIS region is just a mystery to me. All right, and then I think that is it. But oh wait, compare. What's this compare? Oh, you can compare players. So let's compare some players quickly to show the compare off. Let's go Scarlet and SOS. Let's compare Scarlet and SOS. No, I'm really curious to see what this is going to produce.
Me too.
All right, so here we are, Scarlet versus SOS. Okay, what is this kind of? How do we interpret what I'm looking at right now?
So SOS is rating higher. However, Scarlet is better versus Protoss.
Is that what? So it's comparing them in general categories. Is that how? Okay. Yeah.
It's like a sort of a price,
like a report card. Yeah.
Right.
Probability. Oh, here's something. This is kind of styles. The probability of winning a best of 3 against each other or in general.
Against each other.
Okay. All right.
So I guess this page I just wrote as a sort of, this is like a caster tool,
right?
Commentator tool.
Right. Oh, I see. So a caster before they were about to do a match can just pop these 2 players in, and bam, you get this kind of information.
Yeah, you'd see their best matchup probability. You'd see their form, so their last 5 matches.
What's this? So there's this meta. Everything else is kind of straightforward, but this meta. What's this meta? Oh, just the category and then total.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. How many categories did each player win? I guess.
How many what?
How many categories?
Oh, I see. I see. That's actually kind of close if that's the case, because Scarlet won 8 and SOS won 9.
Yeah, but it's also kind of useless.
It's not exactly weighted.
Okay. Yeah. With some stats are obviously more important than others.
Yeah.
But in pure Elo, I mean, the 2 players are theoretically close. Quite close.
Yeah, quite close.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then one thing I'm missing, and I'm guessing the part where it shows the rivals. Is that just the search where you put a player in?
You click on the player. So click on Scarlet's name.
Let's click on Scarlet. Let's follow that. Okay, this is the page. This is the page I use that I'm more familiar with, because this is where I've always gone. But now I know about a lot of different tools. So Scarlet in general, 62% win rate, or all time. Her best matchup is against other Zerg. That isn't just surprising, as I was expecting. She's ranked 24th in the world. She's the 8th non-Korean, and obviously the #1 Canadian.
Not always, obviously.
I think it's kind of obvious. Like
it is. It probably is right now. I'm just saying it's not always the case.
No. I feel like there used to be a power struggle between the top 3, but I feel like now, since Pyeongchang, it feels very decisive. 8th non-Korean. Okay, after this, I'm going to bounce and find out who the top non-Koreans are. But first, let's bounce this. Her rivalries. This is my favorite page.
Yeah.
Rivalries. Neeb is her rival. Is that because she's lost 16 times specifically to him?
So I think rivals number of matchups, so 38.
Yeah. So the rivals are the players she's played against the most.
Right. Okay. Oh, I see.
It's not really a true rivalry, right? But
right.
In this case, these kind of are.
Yeah. And then the nemesis are the players she's lost
the most. Yeah. Got it. And it's all like these. It's not necessarily the same correlation. Just because someone's a rival doesn't mean,
Yeah.
They'll be necessarily your nemesis or victim. Because you have Semper. Oh, that's a good question. Are these best of 3s? I think it's overall.
I think some are.
They are probably just
any matches that have been entered in that have them in.
There are match summaries or game summaries. I don't recall which is.
I can find out very quickly.
So then, all right. So Neeb is Scarlet's biggest rival. That means they've played each other the most, followed by Masa and Huck. Oddly enough,
I guess it's game results, because it says she's played puck 23 times, but she has plus 24.
For the
Against-
rival, it must be best of threes because she's played Neve 144 times.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
So that would be like, 30.
Is the amount of
three best of fives.
It's
yeah,
like
the full matches. Full matches.
All matches.
All right. So she's played in full matches against Neve 38 times. Nemesis, so she's, Neve has beaten her 16 of those 38 times. Gumiho, that's something I didn't expect. I didn't expect Gumiho to be in here. But obviously it makes, an innovation. I guess that's GSL. And, that's
possibly.
in most, I feel like it has to be GSL where she's lost these. Bjorn and Hydra. That's
The surprising ones are victims because of Cloudy.
Yeah, it's like,
Who
when
the
did she play Cloudy?
Played Cloudy 19 times. Like where do you play this guy?
Oh, like in like the probably the carnival or Haozhou chat carnival and those like random tournaments that she gets invited to for China.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's played him in a few show matches.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I'm gonna pop that out for a second.
You can click that number and it'll show you.
Yeah, it shows the ones that she's shows. So the carnival is the one. Gauntlet. Really? The Gauntlet? She played against him in that?
SC2 Online.
SC2 Online, GSL.
Qualifier. Yeah.
Some base trade show matches, a bunch of those. I don't know what SC2 Online is. Oh, the OSC. OSC. Okay, that makes sense. And then Hydra. That's an interesting nemesis to have. So I don't remember last time.
She's a perfect 19-0 against them.
Yeah, she's.
Why does this guy keep agreeing to show matches?
The last time they the last time they played was in 2016. It looks like it. Okay, so that is Scarlet in a nutshell, and then we have her rating history, which shows her performance over time, and then her team history, she's been on, and then team expert is just there's a current. I like that too. That's
and I like those like the inlays of the team switch and the stories as well, like.
Oh yeah, actually,
helps you put it in historical context.
Wait, what is that? I don't know.
Like on that line, there's the dots. The red dot is just yellow dot linked is a story like her winning this tournament.
So you could infer whether or not a player has done better on a team versus being on a certain team. That's
the
cool.
idea. And by the way, you asked me earlier if there was something else I was proud of. On this website, and I think this graph that's on every player page it's really good. It's really nice. It's really especially good. the stories, the yellow dots where you can see it's like, oh, they won.
These like key things here. Yeah. Scarlet wins Red Bull Battlegrounds 2014 North America.
Yeah, and if you click, it will actually take you to that event page.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the best thing about doing these kind of episodes? I actually did not know it did that. I swear I had no clue. Yeah. This is actually that's really kind of cool. That's really cool. So I actually go back to that tournament and see those results, and you can really build a good story timeline. Like, one thing I've always had in myself personally is that I feel like the history of StarCraft and StarCraft players has been like the only place you can really find it in my mind was Team Liquid or Liquipedia. Sorry, if you want to find out the date, like what has happened in the past, but this has a really good game history, quantitative game history, as opposed to Team Liquid is more like
it gives you a player. So Team Liquid is great for looking up tournaments. This is better for looking up players.
Yeah, absolutely,
way better because you can dig through and find obscure stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you could totally have Wikipedia syndrome where you get lost for hours. Clicking and looking for random little tidbits, like, oh, let's find out what happens when I click on, this Foreign Hope team, final, and then you can just follow it and like, oh, she played against
Bunny. The graphs with the patches let you see who's a dirty patch zerg.
Oh, so who just simply does better when that happens. Yeah. Okay, so the last thing I want to click on before we go back into wrapping up the show is I want to click on the Korean. I want to know the top non-Koreans. So,
all right.
So clicking on for Tara, if you click on 8th non-Korean under her rank, let's find out the Koreans, non-Koreans. So Rainer is 3.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
That may be one of these examples of that's great. He's like,
I feel like he's very fresh to have 3, but that's
That also get, I guess. So maybe you could talk to this too. When someone's like kind of a almost new up and comer like this, again, that volatility or that variance is still high, and so when they win a few things against people that are better, like he 3-1 Gumiho in something, that's probably going to raise him.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Like some ridiculous amount.
Yep.
Him 3-0ing actually was like 3-1 Gumiho. When he did that probably, skewed his results, I imagine. Because if you look through his recent results, most of his stuff against, people in, game tournaments you've never seen. Like I don't even recognize some of his players, like Midvik, Cardival. Like these are players, and then you obviously run into Semper, Showtime. He lost to Showtime, lost to Hero Marine, but he 3-1 Gumiho and he 3-1 Semper, and now he's 3rd. And he's fresh. He's fresh and new.
And he's got a number of these other things that we were talking about earlier, where he then beats a bunch of nobody Russians.
Yeah, that's it.
And so that can inflate you a little bit too. But yeah, but I mean, obviously he's in the ballpark. But this may be an idea of it puts him that high, like 17 in the world. That's probably not the case. But
of the non-Koreans.
But that I'd imagine will figure itself out.
Yeah, over time, I think he would, as he gets more games of like notable tournaments in play, it'll probably even him out. I mean, it'll correct itself. Yeah. But just a quick glance or just kind of a scan of this top non-Koreans or non-Korean players or the top foreigner players. You have Cyril, which I find is probably true at this current moment, followed by Need, Rainer, Nurchio. Nurchio is okay. I can see that being 4th, and Snoot. Snoot, I'm a little suspect personally, but that's my own personal biases.
Snoot appears to have had a cracking recent results, though.
Really? Maybe you know what?
Well, yeah.
If you click on the triangle to the far right on his,
there's like this like super arrow thing happening beside him.
Yeah, this is very well hidden there to the right. But
there it is, like plus 104. Oh, that's kind of really. I didn't really notice that. So it's saying what their current situation is that Neve is going down in terms of his rating, but he's gone up overall as ranking. And Snoot is on fire, kind of. Is that like he's actually the only one. Oh, wait. Sort of is kind of on fire as well. And Clem as well. These people who are like getting kind of good results overall. It's kind of cool. All right, so Snoot. Quick click on Snoot. Let's see his current trend of recent results. Oh, here he is. He's 3-0. He's 3-1 Seoul, 2-0 Guru. But like 2-0 Korean, I don't recognize Dominic.
I think this was the Go for SC2 Cup. Like
okay, that's
like yesterday. So obviously he won it. He's won since Austin. He's won 3 online tournaments. So he finished 5th to 8th in Austin.
I don't know if we asked this question. Is there weighting to the tournament results? Like if I win in online versus.
We were experimenting with it to weigh online and offline results differently, and I cannot now remember whether that made it into the live version.
It was like if I won Ollie Moly League versus if I won DreamHack. I wonder if that would change the value of it.
Because it's more did you win versus innovation or versus
yes.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't remember whether that made it in, but I'd like to lean towards it didn't.
Yeah, I don't. I've never noticed that made a difference.
All right, so that's, I love these stories. Okay, I will say the stories is probably my favorite part of your site. I just want to point that. I think that I want to say that comfortably. I feel like so I never noticed it before, and then I see it now on every player. You can like click on little individual moments, and you can get little snapshots of their performance. It's really cool, actually. It's really, really cool that happens. All right. So
I feel we can't leave this site without finding out who's going to win the GSL.
Oh, okay. Let's end off on that part then. Before we wrap up, let's kind of.
How far along is it now? Is it in knockouts?
It's in the finals. So the finals, which is in 4 days, 6 hours and 40 minutes, between Maru and Zest. Spoiler alert for anyone that didn't know that. And so Maru and Zest, we're going to do a best of 7 inference.
Are we going to use the predict feature? So we're going to hit. Okay.
I think so, right?
Yep. I'll let you guide us into how you want us to do it.
So put in Maru. Tara's doing it right now. So Maru versus Zest, best of 7, and it's going to show us the future. And then there we go. So slight edge for Maru, 57% chance of a Maru victory.
Ooh, that's kind of close.
It is pretty close. Most likely predicted would be a 4-2 for Maru. It seems reasonable. And this is an interesting one where this is based obviously on their overall, because historically Zest has actually outperformed Maru when they played each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which also shows obviously on this.
Does it? Hold on. So what it says in historical score, doesn't it say Maru has 161.97% of the time?
That's in his against anyone. It's this bottom line is score versus each other. So he's 19 and 23 against us. So 40. But his his overall,
here against each other. Sorry, score versus each other. Oh, so Zest technically has historically won against Maru.
Yeah.
Ah.
Indeed. And does this part, so it does actually, I'm going to answer my own question. So when you're looking at players against each other, it doesn't look at their overall MMR, it looks in that race, or not MMR, but ELO. So while Maru's overall ELO is 29.66, versus Protoss is actually his worst match by a lot. So it takes the 28.06 and applies that. And then Zest's middling matchup is versus Terran, but it's better than his overall average. Actually, no, sorry, it's his best matchup. So he's a 27.29 despite being a 26.34 overall. And then so those are the two it would predict with.
And you can update scores, which is interesting. You can update the scores as the match is going.
Yeah. So if Maru already has a 1-0 lead, we update, and it would tell us if Maru has a 1-0 lead, there's a 71% chance to win from there.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
That's neat. Yeah, I like that feature as well.
Holy crap. I feel like before we bounce out of here, Eivind, is there any particular feature that we passed by that you think that is underrated or underused by people that you had thought would have been more used?
No, I think you managed to catch most everything here.
What appears to be the most used? Like, do you have the traffic information on where people navigate to?
I have it, but I don't look at it very much. People look at players a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But generally is it. I go when I want to look up a person, and then often looking up the matchup that they're about to do. Yeah, that's often how I do it.
Well, that's what I did too, but I've done it in such a convoluted way. This like a lot of these different these tools that we looked at makes it look a lot easier to go through. All right, so wrapping up and coming to the end of our show. First off, I want to say thanks so much, Eivind, for being on the show and going with us through the site.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
I actually like. I'll be honest. Your site is a lot more powerful than my original foray into it and thought pattern around it. So For yourself, is there anything that you thought that we may have missed, or anything you want to just touch on to what we've talked about that you'd like to mention?
I brought this up earlier, but I'd just like to mention it again because it's important, and I just like to thank everybody who volunteers by entering data on this site, because like I said, those are the real heroes. Right now, I do very little actually.
Yeah, figurehead.
Yeah.
So is there a team that currently runs it? Like, are they like?
There's no central organization, no. But
okay.
If there's anyone listening who wants to sort of help out, that'd be great. Drop me an email. You can find the email on the website. I very often forget to answer, so please pester me.
Yeah, if you're someone that's ever entered stuff onto Liquipedia, it's very similar.
I did that back in the day. Yeah.
So it's pretty intuitive if you've done that.
So pretty much, if you've been a part of that team, and there's usually, there's usually a crossover of the people who do these things. I find like that from one site to another.
Yeah.
They love to like just do these kind of contributions. But for anything else, sorry, I feel like I keep interrupting you. But is there any items else that other than the shoutouts, or is that
No, I feel like we did the website justice here.
Awesome. So, ending it off, where can people get more information about Aligulac? Is there a Twitter, Facebook? Like, what's the best way for people to bounce their problems or questions about Aligulac?
There is a Twitter, but God only knows who is currently using it. I'm certainly not. But yeah, probably the best thing is just my email address, or you can find me on Reddit under the BB. Okay.
So we will include the email in the show notes if you're watching this on YouTube. So you can click there, or if you're watching in Twitch, we'll just copy paste the email in the Twitch chat. And if you ever need to send a question, or if you want to volunteer, you know where to go. So just pop that in.
You can sign me up to all these spam lists.
All those spam bots coming your way.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, Dave, let's do a wrap up of our show. Where can people find you?
Mostly on here, but you can find me at Andrew Swords on the Twitter, and apparently you can look me up on Aligulac. And I'm inactive. I'm inactive. You can just watch, if you ever want to see MMR go the other way, deflate, then look at my profile.
Absolutely. That is you could be the perfect guinea pig for people to experiment with.
Yeah.
And so, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Just a bit of news for those of you watching the Twitch and always want to keep on top. Quick update. So on Thursday. On Thursday, we will be having a map makers discussion. We'll be bringing the current map makers, or as many as we could find, map makers of this season pool to discuss, question, grill, and generally heckle and dispel common questions about their maps and decisions they made about their maps in this map pool. So if you've wondered why Redshift has those mineral patches like they do, we're hoping to get the answer on Thursday. So that's the Map Maker Roundtable this Thursday. On Friday is our first ProBots tournament, first round. So those of you who are familiar with AI and custom agent bots, we'll be doing our first tournament where a couple of people from the StarCraft 2 AI community have put together their finest bots to duke it out to play on Friday. And we'll have the top 8 brackets starting Friday, and that will continue for 4 weeks, going throughout the end of June and into July of bot action. And that's here. So here on twitch.tv/ESChamp. Last but not least in terms of updates, Some of you have requested and asked for ways to support and help make little tournaments better. There's always been our Twitch subscription, but I recently started and created a Patreon because that's what the cool kids are doing. And I finally done one as well. So patreon.com/ESChamp. And we got all sorts of interesting little rewards, especially bonus footage of after our shows. Soon we'll start having credits at the end of our shows and tournaments, so you'll get shout outs in the credits. And and replay packs. You get them replay packs. So you want to know how the bots do or some of the tournaments do, get all that stuff sent to your email. So other than that, guys, this has been an awesome episode. Really fun. Digging in. So until the next time, we'll see you here on Inside the Champ.